So there are three really important news stories that have happened in the last week with regards to Google Ads, and I want to share them with you because they may affect your campaigns, but they'll also affect how you see the management of Google Ads in the very near future. Starting off with the first story. Now, Google have made some changes to responsive search ads. These are your text ads in your search campaigns where you create multiple combinations of headlines and descriptions, and they serve on the search results page when your ads are triggered to show. The changes they've made include the ability to show one single headline. You can also associate 3 headlines and 2 descriptions at campaign level, and you can now implement account level automated assets. So let's go through those changes in a bit more detail. Starting off with the single headline. Now, when you go into a responsive search ad and you create your headlines and descriptions, you can create up to 15 headlines. So at some stage, Google is going to let you choose one single headline, and Google will allow you to do this where it's predicted performance can increase. So it's a very different way of advertising when you think about it, because having multiple headlines allows Google to optimize your content and show the right ads to the right people based on what they're searching. Or alternatively, you can test the headlines yourself using all of that real estate and all of those combinations to do your own experimentation to find your best headlines. So changing it to use one headline in some instances seems a little bit strange, and I don't know the reason Google has for doing this, but in my opinion, I think it goes back to product simplification, where Google wants more advertisers on board who can use the product, but it's a complex product. So changes like this, where only one headline may be required, again, lowers the barrier of entry. You can also have up to 3 headlines and 2 descriptions, as I mentioned, at campaign level, so you can actually implement those assets across the whole campaign, across all of your ad groups and all of your responsive search ads. This can save you some time in order to make sure you can reuse some of the key messages in your ads across different headlines across your whole campaign, which is a good thing. So this isn't necessarily a bad change. It's going to save you a little bit of time, but it's not all that significant. And the final change I mentioned there was that Google will allow you to have automatically created assets at account level as opposed to what they are now, which is at campaign level. So automatically created assets means Google's AI system can look at your website and automatically create assets for your ads. This includes images, site links, call out extensions, and structured snippets as well. So all of those extensions that give you extra information to show in your adverts, you can define them yourself, but if you don't do that, or if you don't turn off the option for Google to override it, Google will be able to create these for you at account level. Now, we've talked about automation with Google Ads a lot on the channel, and I stick to my guns with this one. I think you need to have control over the assets against your ads. You know what the images are that you want to use better than Google in terms of relevancy and quality of image for your products and your services. I wouldn't give this task to Google. I would do this yourself. If you haven't actually created any assets for your campaigns, giving Google the reins to do it isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it just means you're managing your campaigns in a pretty lazy way. So although Google now gives you the opportunity to create automatic assets at account level across all of your campaigns in your account, I would say turn this off and do your own campaign management. Take the time and learn what's going to work and run those tests yourself and create ads that are compelling and that work, and don't give this duty to Google. Staying with the subject of automation, another story that's just broke now is that Search Engine Land, the renowned PPC and SEO blog that you guys should be reading. I love this blog, so I'll always give them a shout out. They have actually had a conversation with Google about automation and the direction Google Ads is going. Because Search Engine Land are massive advocates for the PPC industry and for professionals and advertisers like us, they want to ask the questions directly to Google that we want to ask, and the big question is, why the heck are you automating everything? The biggest concern that they had, and the question they asked Google, was essentially conveying that we don't care about automation. We just want the option to avoid it and to do things ourselves as well. By all means, have automation in the accounts, but give advertisers who know what they're doing all of the tools and options available to run better campaigns, because that is the competitive advantage of having a good ads manager. Why would you lower the standard of your product to the lowest common denominator and the entry-level user for even the power user who can do everything in the platform? It doesn't make any sense. sense. There are also concerns raised by search engine land regarding the use of black box accounts like Performance Max, where you can't actually see all of your campaign data, you don't know when and where your ads were triggered across all of the impressions you're generating, and Google is moving in this direction a lot more than it used to. That again is a big concern that search engine land raised directly with Google. There are so many examples in this article of PPC professionals demonstrating the issues with automation, where ads are generated that look completely terrible. Google thinks it can predict performance, as I mentioned before with the updates to responsive search ads. They think they're going to move forward in performance by doing these changes, but there are so many examples out there, and I'm sure you guys can show me them as well, where automation has harmed your performance, and Google needs to address this. A man named Sylvanus Bent, who is one of the product marketing managers at Google, who was actually asked these questions from Search Engine Land, has come back and said the following. He said, "AI doesn't mean advertisers will be completely hands-off. The combination of human expertise and AI-powered insights ensures the inputs provided allow advertisers to guide the AI to drive best results." Well, that doesn't really help, because the concern that Search Engine Land raised was specifically about the ability for power users of Google Ads to not use automation at all and to give us the option to do so. He's not addressed it here. He goes on to say, "AI is a critical part of the ads ecosystem, and we're committed to providing advertisers with the tools they need to stay in control from the moment they create a campaign, using generated assets all the way to AI-powered reporting, insights and optimization recommendations." He continued to say he wants the advertising community to continue to voice concerns, but it's so clear the direction Google are heading in. This is just paying lip service. They're not actually listening to what advertisers are asking for. It's so clear. Google's CEO Sundar Pichai has put AI at the forefront of everything Google is doing, and he accredits AI to the success Google had in the last quarter of 2023 in terms of advertising revenue, which is no surprise. There is so much wastage created as a result of AI-powered campaigns and AI-powered options that does help put money in Google's pocket. Why would they stop doing that is the question. Us as advertisers, we need to challenge Google and continue to do so, but in all honesty, I don't know if it's going to have any kind of impact. All we can do is work with the tools we have, and that's what this channel is all about. So subscribe now and let me know in the comments if you are sick and tired of Google forcing AI down our throats, and if you want control of your campaigns. And the final story I want to raise is actually something my home country did to Google, and that is because Google are going to get rid of third-party cookies. They have started this already, with 1% of Google Chrome users not being able to load third-party cookies, meaning they go untracked by third-party cookie technology. Google wants to roll this out across 100% of Google Chrome users in 2024, but there's an issue. The Competition and Markets Authority here in the UK have said to Google, you can't do that because of unfair competition. You see, Google has a huge market share in the browser world because Chrome has a lot of users, and as a result, if third-party cookies are disabled, you are relying on Google's sandbox tracking methodologies to link user behavior to conversions and other marketing metrics, and Google's technology is proprietary to Google, meaning that any user of Chrome is going to have to rely on Google's ecosystem to track their marketing campaigns and other user behaviors. Bit of a monopoly, right? That is indeed unfair competition, because Google are essentially freezing out the ability for third parties to track users and placing Google to be the only proprietor of the ability to link that behavior and track behavior of users by eliminating cookies. So the UK's Competition and Markets Authority have said, no, we're not allowing this, which means this whole thing about Google blocking third-party cookies via Chrome could be delayed because of this challenge by the UK. Now, don't take this word for gospel, because although the CMA here in the UK have challenged Google and have made that very clear that they won't stand for it, it sounds to me like Google are going to try and move forward with this anyway, and that's usually the case with Google. They will just carry on with their plan until they're sitting in a courtroom. So we'll see how it progresses. If it gets to the point where the Competition and Markets Authority here in the UK says, Google, we're not allowing this, see us in court, we're going to challenge this, that's when we will see things maybe start to slow down. But until then, Google will carry on with what they are doing. In fact, a Google spokesman said to Search Engine Land, "We will continue to move forward with our plans to phase out third-party cookies in H2 2024, subject to addressing any remaining competition concerns from the UK CMA." So there you have it. They are the updates from Google that I wanted to share with you today. And going back to what I said about third-party cookies, I have a video coming very soon that will cover everything you need to know about third-party cookies, privacy issues, tracking, and how to do enhanced conversions, and everything in between coming soon. It's going to be in the format of a course. So if you don't want to miss that, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss that video. Like this video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out the other content across my channel, and I'll see you guys on my next one.